Nobody really talked about it at first. There were no headlines, no viral clips, no behind-the-scenes photos flooding social media. But quietly, while Zendaya was filming some of the most intense and emotionally heavy scenes of her career on Euphoria, one person kept showing up again and again. Not for attention, not for the cameras, just to be there. And when Chloe Cherry finally revealed that it was Tom Holland who would always come to visit her on set, fans immediately started asking questions. Because in an industry where relationships are often performative and temporary, this kind of consistency felt different. Almost protective, almost deliberate. And once people began looking closer at the timing of his visits, the mood on set, and what Zendaya was dealing with during filming, it started to feel like there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than anyone realized. Chloe Cherry didn't make a big announcement. She didn't tease it. She didn't even act like it was a secret. She just said it, casually. And that's what made it hit harder. While talking about her experience on the Euphoria set, she mentioned that Tom Holland would always come to visit Zendaya. Not once, not occasionally, always. The way she said it wasn't playful or exaggerated, it was matter of fact. Like it was something everyone on set had already noticed. And then she added something that instantly changed the tone. I hope one day I have that privilege on set. That wasn't a joke, that was admiration. Because in Hollywood, partners don't usually show up like that. Schedules are crazy. Priorities clash. People get busy. But according to Chloe, Tom made time. Again and again, quietly, without turning it into a moment. And the fact that she called it a privilege says a lot. It suggests that what she was witnessing wasn't normal behavior. It was something rare, something personal, something that stood out enough for her to remember and talk about later. And that's when fans started leaning in. Because if he was always there, the real question becomes why. And the answer might be deeper than anyone expected. What made Tom's visit stand out wasn't just how often he came, it was how he came. No announcements, no entourage, no cameras, no social media posts. According to people who were around, he didn't walk in like a star. He walked in like someone who didn't want to be seen. It's been said that he avoided the main areas, stayed out of the spotlight, and kept everything low-key. Almost like he didn't want his presence to become a distraction. He wasn't there to be noticed. He was there for one person. And that's exactly why crew members noticed. When someone shows up quietly and consistently, people start to talk. Not loudly, not publicly, just small comments, quick looks, a simple, he's here again. Nothing dramatic, just a pattern. Some reports claim he would wait nearby during long shoots. Others say he'd come by after heavy scenes wrapped. No confirmation, just whispers. But the timing raised eyebrows. Because it didn't feel random. It felt intentional. Almost like he knew exactly when she'd need him. And that's when fans started asking the same question behind closed doors. Was this just support? Or was he trying to shield her from something? Because the more people learned about what Zendaya was dealing with on that set, the more Tom's constant presence started to make sense. And what was really happening on Euphoria was far from easy. If you've ever watched Euphoria, you already know, this isn't a light show. It's not fun. It's not easy. And it definitely doesn't stay on set when the cameras turn off. Zendaya's role is emotionally brutal. Addiction, trauma, breakdowns, isolation, scene after scene that demands everything from her. And multiple cast members have admitted that filming Euphoria can mess with your head. Long hours, heavy scripts, dark energy. This isn't the kind of work you shake off with a laugh. And that's exactly why Tom's presence started to feel different. Because when someone keeps showing up during the hardest moments, it usually means they know something you don't. There's been quiet talk that some of Zendaya's scenes during this period were especially intense. The kind that drains you. The kind that leaves you empty. And while nothing has been officially confirmed, fans believe Tom timed his visits around those moments. Not before the easy days. Not after the light scenes. But when things got heavy. That's not coincidence. That's awareness. Almost like he could sense when she was about to hit her limit. And that's where the narrative shifted. Because suddenly, this wasn't just a boyfriend stopping by. This started to look like someone making sure she didn't have to carry all of it alone. And when you see it that way, the story changes. But the real shock came when insiders started hinting at how far he may have gone to stay close to her. And that's where things get even more interesting. There's always chatter on a set, but when multiple insiders start hinting at the same thing, people start paying attention. And that's exactly what happened with Tom Holland's visits. Reports claim that he wasn't just stopping by casually, he was adjusting his schedule. Moving scenes around, shuffling interviews, and sometimes, he even stayed nearby during particularly heavy filming weeks. None of this was confirmed publicly, but patterns don't lie. Crew members allegedly noticed small things: a reserved coffee cup left by his trailer, a quick shadow in the background, subtle check-ins during breaks. Nothing overt, nothing staged, just presence. Fans quickly connected the dots online. He's always there, some said. Always timing it right. And suddenly, what seemed like casual support started feeling like something more intentional. Almost protective. And the speculation didn't stop there. Some insiders hinted that his visits weren't always just about emotional support. Some suggest he was keeping an eye on the environment, making sure the set, the energy, and even the people around Zendaya were safe for her. It's subtle. It's quiet. But according to those who noticed, it was consistent. And once fans pieced it together, the story took on a new dimension. Tom wasn't just supportive. He was deeply involved in her well-being, even off-camera. And in Hollywood, where relationships are often performative or temporary, that kind of dedication doesn't go unnoticed. Especially when Chloe Cherry herself called it a privilege to witness. But that wasn't the end. Comparing Tom and Zendaya to other Hollywood couples makes this pattern even more striking. Hollywood is full of couples who live loud, public lives. Red carpets, social media posts, headlines. But Tom and Zendaya, they operate differently. Quiet, private, intentional. Fans and insiders alike have pointed out that while many stars use their relationships for publicity, Tom's visits to Zendaya on the Euphoria set were completely opposite. No cameras, no staged moments, no hashtags, just presence, purely for her. Chloe Cherry's comment, "I hope one day I have that privilege," makes sense in this light. She wasn't just impressed by Tom's devotion. She was impressed by its rarity. Because in an industry where support is often performative, he showed up consistently, without recognition, without reward. And it's not just fans noticing. Crew members reportedly respected it too. His quiet consistency became part of the background rhythm of the set. People started saying that even when the cameras weren't rolling, Zendaya seemed more grounded, more confident, more herself, and some quietly credited Tom for that. In other words, his presence wasn't just a romantic gesture. It was part of what allowed Zendaya to give some of her strongest performances yet. And when you start comparing this to other Hollywood relationships, the difference becomes clear. This wasn't about show. It wasn't about fame. It was about loyalty, consistency, and care, something Chloe Cherry called a privilege to witness. But what really fueled fan fascination wasn't just devotion, it was the sense that he was protecting her. And that's where the speculation ramps up. Fans started piecing things together. Not from headlines, not from posts, but from subtle clues. The way Tom positions himself when he's with Zendaya. The way he watches a room. The way she relaxes when he's nearby. It's quiet, almost invisible to the untrained eye, but for those paying attention, it tells a story. Reports and online speculation suggest he isn't just supportive, he's protective. Small gestures, like walking just behind her on set, or arriving during particularly heavy scenes, started to add up. It's been said that these actions weren't about being controlling. Instead, they were about creating a safe space, emotional and professional, for Zendaya to do her work without distraction. Fans began connecting dots from past interviews too. Tom has often talked about the importance of loyalty and consistency in relationships. Zendaya, meanwhile, has described needing grounding and support while tackling demanding roles. Layered together, it's easy to see why people began saying he guards her. And Chloe Cherry's comment makes even more sense now. When she said she hoped one day she'd have that privilege on set, it wasn't just about witnessing a loving relationship. It was about observing a rare kind of devotion, one that's constant, attentive, and quietly protective in ways most Hollywood couples rarely show. Some speculate this kind of support isn't casual. Some say it shows a relationship that's serious, intentional, and built to last. And when fans notice patterns like these, curiosity skyrockets. How far does this protective streak go, and what does it mean for their future? All this quiet devotion naturally leads to one question fans can't stop asking: where is this relationship headed? It's been said that when someone shows up consistently, protects their partner, and rearranges their life for them, it usually signals more than casual dating. And with Tom and Zendaya, the signs are hard to ignore. Fans have started analyzing patterns, from timing of visits to body language at premieres, to subtle social media hints, and the consensus seems clear: this is serious. Some speculate that engagement might be on the horizon. Others believe that even if no official announcement is coming, they're already operating like a married couple behind the scenes. Nothing confirmed, of course, it's all observation and speculation, but when you piece it together with Chloe Cherry's comment, Tom's quiet set visits, and the protective energy fans have noted, it paints a compelling picture. And it's not just about milestones like rings or weddings. It's about partnership, commitment, being present when it counts most, on and off the set. This pattern of consistent care shows that their connection isn't performative, it's intentional. For fans, it's exciting. For the industry, it's unusual. And for those watching closely, it's proof that some of the strongest relationships aren't the ones that dominate headlines, but the ones that quietly endure behind the scenes. Which brings us full circle. Chloe Cherry's seemingly simple comment may have revealed more than anyone expected, when Chloe Cherry said she hoped one day she'd have the privilege of witnessing Tom Holland's support on set. It seemed like a small, offhand remark. But in reality, it revealed something far deeper. It showed a relationship built on consistency, care, and quiet devotion, the kind that doesn't need cameras, headlines, or applause to exist. Tom's repeated visits, the protective energy fans have noticed, and the timing of his presence during some of Zendaya's most challenging work all point to a bond that's rare in Hollywood. Not flashy, not performative, just steady, intentional, and deeply personal. And maybe that's the lesson here. In a world obsessed with loud love stories and viral moments, the strongest relationships often thrive in silence. They show up when it matters. They protect without announcing it. They endure without needing validation. Chloe Cherry witnessed just a glimpse of this, and so did fans who connected the dots. For everyone else, it's a reminder that sometimes, the most compelling stories aren't the ones told on camera, they're the ones unfolding quietly behind the scenes. And in the case of Tom and Zendaya, that quiet story might be the most fascinating of all.